is HXVIK.
Yes. Yes,
Havoc.
sir. Havoc. Yes, in the building, the one and only.
What are we supposed to get from this? Are you wrecking havoc on the mic, on stage? Is
See,
this
see, you caught it right there. Originally, like when I first, can I just go into the story of how I started with the music stuff?
the floor is yours?
All right, so at the age of 3, I got into listening into music, and the only person, believe it or not, that I would listen to up from the age of 3 all the way to the age of 11 was Michael Jackson himself. You feel me?
Okay.
And with that, like from the age of 3 all the way up until 11, like while I was in elementary school, which was a little bit before I was 11, I my third, no, my third, fourth, and fifth grade year, my last 3 years of elementary, I would do talent shows. You feel me? And it's like it took me a lot to build up the courage to do it, you know, because it's like I would be performing in front of like 500, 600 students, you know, and it's like it was a really good feeling, but like up until then, like the moment up until I performed, it was a lot, bro. Like, you know, I felt the anxiety in my stomach, and it's like, oh shit, I'm about to do this, and it's like, I don't know, like ever since I was young, I was an entertainer, you know, and it was kind of a mistake for me because like growing up, it wasn't the particular childhood that you know, average child would have. We'll get into that later. But as far as like that, like that's all I would do too. I would just dance. I wasn't even into the rapping, the melodic rap, the other things that go into it. Like I would dance a lot, and then that would help me. I learned rhythm, you know. So it's like I can literally pinpoint any song as long as it's not too crazy. But even if it is too crazy, I'll find a way to either move. What I really learned how to move with is the percussion inside of an instrumental, you know, like the you know, like that's what I really learned, like movement, bodily function. And then from there, like okay, we back. All right, yeah. And
This meeting is being recorded.
And then from there, like after that, I went on into middle school, and it's like I would like ask people around, like, "Hey, y'all, you listen to Michael Jackson?" Like they'll be playing like, you know, what was like popping back then with like a lot of the people in the surrounding area, which was hip hop, you know.
What was it?
And hip hop, like rap, you know.
Yeah.
I never listened to rap. The only person that I listened to in elementary, it was Tupac, and that was because the person that I was living with, he became a Tupac fan at that age, and he would play it, and then I wouldn't really have a choice to hear it, you know. So
Right.
just like I was introduced to the old school rap, you know, the NWA, the Tupac, and you know Slim Shady, aka Eminem. Like I listened to him, and he was the one that like really like a lot of the stuff, you know how he was like back in the 90s, like without a filter, and at the same time he could be serious and emotional. It's just he was very versatile in like what he did. And then from there it moved on from Eminem to Hobson. I don't know if you know who that is. I don't know if you know who that is, but he's a artist from Panorama City, and he's really known for his his Ill Minds, the 1 through 8, you know. I'm pretty sure you've seen at least one of them. But those were cool. But like I started to dig deep more into the different types of flows that he would have. Like some of my favorite songs by him in middle school was I Just Can't. Crown Me was a big one, because that's like I would like believe it or not, like it's weird because when I say this, I didn't really want anybody to find out, but eventually people will find out once it happens. But like what I would do, I would study every single lyric that he had down to the T, especially the songs where he was rapping so fast the average human ear can't keep up. They would have to play it over and over and over to get it. So like what I would do like with artists that, you know, I like, I would copy them, you know, and it'd be like, yeah, that's mine. You feel me? Yeah, I made that, you know. But eventually, like, you know, people caught on, and then I'm thinking like, you know, after a while, like I started to listen to more artists after Hobson. I listened to Logic. He was a really good one. And then you had Joyner Lucas. He was a really good one. You feel me? And then that's when I came across X Tentacion. Like he, like as far as them, they were more, they amazed me with the lyricism and how, like, how fast they put all types of flows and how they would switch and stuff. And then like with X, it was different. I don't know, like the first song I know I heard by him was Take a Step Back. I think I was in my ninth grade algebra class, and like they would let us use Chromebooks and stuff and like listen to music and stuff. So I'm like, you know what? And SoundCloud was my shit back then because, you know, it was really popping. You feel me? Like that was, yeah, it was around 2017, the end. Like, you know how school years start, like usually the end of the school year is the beginning of the year. You guys know what I'm saying? So the end of 2017 going on to 2018 is like when I would really like listen. And yeah, Take a Step Back, I heard that. Then I heard H2O, Young Brats, you know, all of that shit. It was just fire. And then like that's when he dropped the 17 album, and that, like, it was enough to like really, like, you know, like damn, like, you know, it's that raw emotion that you felt like inside of his voice, like with his music. So that kind of opened up another door for me when it came to, like, you know, being somebody that's like going into high school, you know, feeling out of place, you know, just ending a relationship. Although I was young, and it really like it really is nothing now. Back then, it really meant something to me who I was with, because it was all I knew, you know. And yeah, like that really, he really helped me get through a breakup that I had, you know, and just like just being down and out, you know. And ski mask too. I got into a lot of ski mask, and it's like, yeah, I'm in it. She gonna stop on nobody like I get here. You feel me?
But no
And
Fetty Wap at that time.
that's the thing. Like, yeah, I would hear him, but the only time that I would be able to listen to music was when I was at school, when they had electronics, because who I live with didn't want me to have a phone. So really, I would only hear the music that I wanted to listen to, like when I was at school or when I was at a place that had electronics, and when people wanted to let me use their stuff when I didn't have my own, you know. So I would hear Fetty Wap and stuff. Like, it was cool, you know. But I don't know.
That
Yeah, he was good. He was good. He really, yeah, he was popping back then. I ain't gonna lie.
that
Him,
begs
Young
me
Thug.
that
Go
begs
ahead.
me
Go
to
ahead.
ask a question. You know, for school, you know, school provides more than an education. It
Yeah.
provides food, it provides,
Mhm.
you know, enrichment courses, extracurriculars. School was
Yeah.
you know, a safe space for you.
In a way, in a way, it necessarily wasn't a safe space, but at the same time, it was more of an escape. It was more of
Okay.
an escape with like personal problems that I dealt with inside my life. You know, it was like where I hung out with people who I felt like could understand me, and it was where I could be free without having like too many restrictions on myself. Because it's like once I was out the door, out the house, I didn't have a looming shadow over me telling me like, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do that. It was more of a me easing into my own freedom, because I didn't really have a lot of it, you know. And like, yeah, it was actually a huge learning experience. Like, school really affected my life in some of the best ways and in some of the worst ways. Like with
So
school, I met people that were good for me, you know, and I also met people that were bad for me and like were detrimental to like a lot of the plans and a lot of the experiences I could have had, as far as
well,
like,
I also have to ask you, you're growing up in LA, right? You're from LA, South Central, South LA area, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken.
I moved
One,
from.
where did you move
Go
from?
ahead. Where did you move from? So I lived around. I literally lived off of like El Segundo and Figueroa. Uh, I originally, when I was like, I can't even remember past like when I was about 6, but when I was 6, I lived in Gardena, and I can't really name the streets, but it was I can't really name that street, but around it is a Rallies, and then across from the Rallies is like a car spot, and then a little bit further down from the Rallies is like a Dollar Tree. I think Ardath in 141st Street. That's where I lived at till I was about 9. Then from then I moved on to Cimarron and El Segundo. And then when I was 11, I moved to El Segundo and Figueroa. And I stayed there all the way up until about 18, no, 19, 19. I
So
moved from there.
being
Go ahead.
all around
All
LA,
about. Uh-huh.
you're African American boy,
Yeah.
people looking from the outside in could say being down in that area isn't so safe, isn't so secure. Wouldn't it
Hmm.
benefit someone coming from where you are to have the means to communicate to family in an emergency, in a, you know, fast pace? Because if you don't have a phone and something
Right.
happens,
Right.
how do you get in touch to family? How do you even get in touch with, you know,
Well, the
the
thing about that,
police,
that
911?
was the that's what I'm saying. That was the logic that I carried. But the person that I live with, like, she had her reasonings for doing everything that she did, and in the end, I'm here now. I'm fine. I'm okay. But like at the same time, it's just you just have to learn how to move smart.
Mhm.
Like you I feel like everybody has that gut feeling when they know they're in a spot that's like unsafe, just reading the people around you, reading, feeling the energy, looking at the neighborhood, and just like, yeah. And like just listening when people try to put you on pointers about where you're at and where you're going. It's like, it's good to be smart, like at school and stuff like that, and, socially with your friends. But at the same time, you really have to watch your surroundings when you are in LA, no matter if you're in
Street smart.
Gardena, Inglewood, Hawthorne,
Gotta be street
downtown LA.
smart.
Like, yeah, it's just like something that I would recommend is like to not hang out on corners all day. Don't stay outside on the block all day. If you are gonna do that, like make sure you're in like an establishment, like a building or something, or an apartment, or like maybe at a restaurant that's like, low key and not too, you know, but as long as you don't make enemies, and as long as you go wherever you go with pure intentions, nothing should happen to you. Like, it's really the mindset that you go into with life, and like where you go and how you walk around. Is just the energy that you carry, how you present yourself,
Mhm.
and that's that. It's like, it's not
So
too much to it.
with everything happening to you and everything been moving and everything, wouldn't
Uh-huh.
is it a bit safe to say that havoc has been in your life for more than just being a name?
Yeah, dude. Like, I've at a very young age, I've went through a lot of emotions. You feel me? As far as depression, anxiety, like, separation issues with those that I felt that were very close to me. And it was times where I questioned, like, why am I, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna bring up a big like issue, that's like in our society, like
Go for it.
depression, stuff like that, and suicide and stuff like that. That's crossed my mind. I'm pretty sure that's crossed a lot of people's minds, like with the situations that they've been in, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's been times where I've like, wanted to do that and just like wanted to like give up with a lot of stuff that I was going through. But like as you keep moving forward, you'll see like that situation isn't as bad as I thought it could be, Like, because you may be feeling the worst of emotions, but it's really all perspective. It's how you look at it. Like, this is with every single situation that you will experience inside of your life. I'm going to give you some advice right here. You can either let the situation make you or break you, you know? Life, in my opinion, I've told a couple of people this, but it's like a stock chart, It's like you can rise, shoot up really, really high, and then like some gets in your way, and then you like fall twice as hard and twice as fast as you rose. And the thing about that, you want to like you want to rise, right? But you don't want to go too fast. And when I say that, like you don't want to you don't want to move so fast to where like you have a lot of momentum and you can't slow down when you feel like you need to. It's like living the fast life is glorified like within the rap community and stuff like that, but it's like when you're moving too fast, like it's hard to like really trace your steps. Like, what am I doing? It's hard to think logically when you just act on impulse because you don't know what that can bring. Let's say I
Well,
blow up today, I see a baddie, and it's like we do our thing, and then like something happens with that. And yeah, it's just a lot of stuff. But like back to what I was saying, life is like a stock chart. You don't want to shoot up too fast. You want to like go to a level, but then you want to keep moving at a steady pace. But you also want to rise while you're moving. That's a part of the keep grinding. And then with that, like once you get comfortable with that level, that's when you decide, you plan as you're getting comfortable with the level you're at, what next level you're gonna be at, and how you're gonna do it, how you're gonna achieve it. And with that, there will be stuff that gets in your way, but don't think of life stock chart as a two-dimensional thing to where if something gets in the way, I'm automatically blocked. It's multiple ways, multiple dimensions to this stuff. Like you could keep moving, it's in your way. As you're going up, you can either move to the left or to the right, So it's like you want to maneuver side by side, but up and down as well. Cause it's stuff that get in your way, try and drag you down. And it's like that happens. We all have mishaps, we all have setbacks. And it's like your good energy in life, people are gonna test that. But you gotta protect your energy and you can't let them trespass. You catch what I'm saying? You saw I put a little
yeah.
bit of rhyming in there. But yeah,
Well,
it's
I
just
say that with perspective, I think
mm-hmm,
perspective is only as important as the experiences that you has the amount of experiences that you have. Because if you're saying, dealing with depression and suicidal thoughts at age
mm-hmm.
11,
Oh, it was
how
before that,
much
bro. It was
would
before that, way
and that
before that. But yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. If it's, if you want to be specific with the age, 8, 7, 9 years old,
Uh-huh.
it's not as much life experiences as a 21-year-old going through that and feeling those
Right.
things. So when you're going
Right.
through those things at such a young age, the perspective isn't, well, I can either let this break me or let this make me. This is new territory. This is territory not
Yeah.
for no type of kid to ever experience. So how are you as a 9-year-old or 8-year-old going through those things? What is holding you down? Is it performing? Is it dancing? Is it
It
music?
it's 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 music, and not just the music, but it was having it what it really was, it was me trying to find the littlest amount of happiness within my day and amplifying it tenfold. Like a lot of kids, they hate school. It's like, I hate school. I don't want to do this. And it's like, at times I've excelled. I've always excelled in the academic part, but that's not the reason why I enjoyed it. It was the communication and the relationships that I had with my other peers and students, you know. And it's not just with the students, it's older people that have helped me, like, shape me into the person that I am today in my schooling. So it's like it's not just there for like academics and stuff like that. Like, it's literally a whole space designed for youth that are young to be guided into the next steps. You know, it's literally structure, but it's not like the middle school, the elementary school that I went to, like, it was structure, but at the same time, like, you got to be a kid. I feel like everybody needs to like have that place to where they feel free as a kid and actually can ask questions about like what's this, what's that, without being told, why are you asking so many questions? Why do you want to know? Sit down and be quiet. You know, you should like be able to ask and be enlightened about the wonders of the world, you know? And
Curiosity should be accepted. Curiosity should be amplified and
and
supported
you know what a
versus
wise man once told me? His name was Mr. Quentin. I haven't seen him since I culminated from elementary, but one day I really hope I see him. If you're out there, we got a link, Mr. Quentin. But he was like the main person within my elementary years that saw me go from like the complete bottom to one of the best students in the school. Cause like when I first went in the specific school that I went to, Percy Avenue Elementary School. When I first went there, bro, like I was literally the worst, one of the worst kids there, bro. Like, God bless her soul, but my first grade teacher, her name was Miss Turnbow, and she was like a very old or very elderly, frail lady, you know.
Mhm.
And I was just bad, bro. Like, she would have snacks in her drawer and stuff. Like, I like, take them without asking. I bring toys to class and then she'd have to take them from me. Then I like, trip out about it. And it's just, I had a lot of issues and it really wasn't a lot of structure. And I didn't really want to listen to the people that were in authority because it's like, I don't care. And that's what it is. But like, as I got older, um, my perspective kind of changed, because who I was living with at home and stuff like that. Sometimes people do need firm, uh, that firm amount of structure to like shape them into who they are. Like, really, I get it when people mean that, like, well, life with me or with every individual, you'll feel you'll be under the fire, you'll feel a lot of heat and you'll feel a lot of pressure, but really that's where the diamond is made. You catch what I'm saying? Because that's how diamonds are made. They're under a lot of pressure for a long time, then something becomes something something is beautiful that comes out of it, like, for
Okay.
example, in a song that I have called Keep Grinding, I'm gonna recite like a few lyrics in it. It's like, better keep grinding every day, every single which way to see them boy, yeah, pearly gates. And if you're gonna be some to somebody, make sure there's no way you could be replaced. You ain't really living life if you get opinions from other people. What you gotta chase. You should be proud about the life you live. That is not up for debate. You feel me? So it's like you gotta keep grinding until the day you can't move, until the day you can't breathe, until the day you can't eat. If you're physically able to move and do anything, that the average person could do. Like when I was listening to JID, he said you have everything that the greats have, which is two eyes, a nose, mouth, hands, and feet, legs, arms. You know?
Mhm.
But I'm kind of going off track a little bit, but life can be a nightmare, but in the end it could turn out beautiful. That's like what I'm really trying to say.
Well, when you mention about depression, anxiety, I want to get more into that. As
Okay.
a black person, as a black man, as a black, person in America, do you feel that therapy is supported for Black America, Black people?
Within the community, I don't really hear a lot of people talking about it. No, the ones that I've hung out with, like, let's say, well, a lot of my, no, it's not like a lot of black people, it's like looked over or, here, hit this blunt to like, help you out, mellow you out. But really, like, that's a temporary solution, you know? Because it's like, in my opinion, here are the pros to like drug usage as far as like marijuana and stuff like that. While you're high, for me, like it gets you in a deeper state of thinking, but like you're relying on something that you have to pay for over and over again and take out of your pocket that also damages like your body just to think in that temporary state or to feel what you feel when really like there are other ways to express yourself and to alleviate the issues that you have been through, you know,
Right.
which is one, it is therapy. And you necessarily don't have to have like an actual therapist, but you just need that somebody to talk to, you know?
Well, I would say though, therapy from an actual therapist is recommended because they're professionals. They
That's
get
true.
they get paid and they go to years of school to know how to tackle and help you relieve these situations. I will
That's
say,
that's
I will say, from my own experience, Black America now, meaning our peers, our age range, I think we are more open to it. I think we're more, definitely in LA. I think we're more open to it and more, accepting of it. I do
hmm
believe though, like what you mentioned about not having a phone and being very restrictive and those reasonings behind those restrictions. Maybe if the person was capable of relieving whether there were anxieties or fears, the reasoning behind those reasons, the reasons behind those restrictions, perhaps
hmm
you wouldn't have lived in such a restrictive household. But at the same time, like you mentioned, being able to live without living with those restrictions and force you to be more street smart, being more street awareness. And
yeah.
so and so now
And
as an older figure or older version of yourself, like you said,
uh-huh.
like those situations we were going through as a kid don't look so bad now. And the fact that you didn't just go through bad experiences, you went through bad experiences and they didn't affect you. They didn't tamper with your overall greatness, your story, your person, your mindset. You was able to
In
use
fact,
those things.
they like that's the thing. You like the issues, every single issue that I have faced has dragged me down, like, like to a very, 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 very low state. Cause it's like, from the age of 3 and still till now, like I was removed from the home with my mother, and that is like from the age of 3, the feeling of depression became attached to me, and I felt that up until, I mean, we still all feel depression and stuff still today, but like I felt that up until like, really, I felt that up until about the age of 9 before like exploding on people and stuff like that when I would like feel too much pressure or too obligated to do what you say when I really don't feel comfortable with doing it. But yeah, like just learning to deal with the emotions and just letting them flow without holding them in or without like relying on any type of substance to alleviate it. Because when you bottle up your emotions, you're gonna explode eventually. And how you explode, that depends on the person and it depends on the mindset, the mental health, and like the situation that you're in. But with the substance, it's like that's like it it can only really get you so far, like in my opinion. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I've never really relied on like substances to help me with my emotions. Like I would rather experience the full-fledged emotion and like go through it and just process it and just like sit in it and just move on to the next day. And I still would feel it and it still would be in my head, but that's where therapy came in because I have had therapy all my life. by professionals. But it's like the reason why I said it would be cool to have people around you that necessarily aren't therapists that can talk to you, because not everybody can have a professional therapist. I'm not saying that they can't, but some people's situations are different, you know? Some people don't trust it, you know, because I've been in situations with therapists to where I've said the wrong thing, then it was taken completely out of proportion, you know? So it's like trust issues. A lot of people have trust issues with the community that they're in due to the people that have shaped them into thinking the way that they think, you know? So it's like if I'm in a bad neighborhood, you know, or in a neighborhood where like it's a lot of violence, you know, or the police with like brutality and stuff like that, that can like screw with my opinion on society and the people who are supposedly supposed to so-called help you, you know, as a protect and serve aspect. If I can't rely on people as far as the police to protect me and stuff like that, when a physical altercation or something like that happens, why in the world would I tell somebody that has just a degree of so-called therapy my serious problems that can so-called fuck up my whole household and flip it upside down if I say the wrong thing? You know, it's